Uh, Good morning. I gotta remember to push that button, that on button. Hey, how y'all doing? Good morning. Lisa here. Morning with Lisa. Um, I was watching Pastor Jennings YouTube. I like watching him, and he's really get down with the scriptures, and I like the scriptures. And they had a debate. It wasn't a debate. It was a discussion about Islam and Muslims and what they believe in and how they believe and stuff. And it's just like Christianity, Bible. We stick like really stick with the Bible, like far as living, like when you're a new creature in Christ. You know what I'm saying? God give everyone a chance to come under Christ. So the discussion was about pork. Now, but they was discussing about circumcision. Like a person could not be an Israelite because of the circumcision. A man is not circumcised. Now, when Paul brought a Gentile to the Israelite priests and tried to get him, he said he is willing to come under us and learn our ways and our, you know what I'm saying, our God. And they denied him. So that angered God because it was a whole bunch of people that Paul went out and got. Paul and Peter and Matthews and went and got, and they gathered the people together, and the people started believing in their God, and they was not accepted amongst the Hebrews and the Israelites. The Hebrews and Israelites is different. So these was Israelites. They wasn't Hebrew. Nicodemus and them was Hebrew. Nicodemus, they was Hebrew. Okay, they practiced the true Hebrew faith, And Israelites is different. They just do like God, it's a man God. So, but they was under Caesar at the time, and everybody that was among the synagogues and stuff practiced this law about circumcision. That Jewish people has to get circumcised as a baby. The high priest come in and bless the baby, and they circumcise the foreskin. They cut the foreskin off. But these particular people was not circumcised. So they kind of count them as a curse or whatever. So God got mad, and God separated the people from them. But this was way before the circumcision even started, because way before then they denied some of the Gentiles that God told them to go and get. And what they did was, God said not only he increased the law of faith. He said not only is for just the Israelites. He said, because he told them, he said he had one. He said, I will be your God, the God of Israel, okay? And you will be my people, and all will know that you are my people. But because of their disobedience in God, God told them not just only you will be my people, but the Gentiles and the Greeks, all will be my people who believe in my son, Jesus Christ, who is soon to come, right? But Jesus didn't come yet. Okay, so they were supposed to had gathered up the people before Jesus had came, because God knew, and he heard the cries of the people. He knew that they was under a different authority. He knew that they was under slavery. The Israelites was under slavery also, even though they had their own synagogues and stuff, but they could not teach the things that that true biblical. They was not teaching true biblical. So Pastor Jenny and them was talking about that, and the Muslims, Sudani Muslim, they, meaning that people stay in Iraq. It's like Hebrew people that stay in Iraq. You know what I'm saying? Some of them is in Iraq, some of them is in what you call it, in the Muslim countries like Russia and stuff like that. They are like true Hebrew people, and they really know the Bible. But some of them is forced to go under Islamic. But like I said, it's son, Abraham's son, is out there. His family is out there somewhere. So they very strict on, like, basically the Bible, because they know Hagar, his mother, taught him because he told him, he said, your father is Abraham. So just imagine how Hagar had to teach Ishmael about his father and about his father's faith. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it going through generation. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have to really realize, that when we come against certain people, but it's a Hebrew faith. You know what I'm saying? And this faith, they have to know that these people really are, biblical based. You know what I'm saying? But they also know that through everything, God was teaching them that Jesus was to come. It was another, he was to come on earth. You know what I'm saying? So they already know that. Abraham already knew that. Abraham's sons already knew that. So it was just like trying to get the people to you know what I'm saying, to come under. But a famine had happened. So they went into another land. And then sometimes when people go into another lands, they have to do with they supposed to do, like far as the land has law. So when they went in under this other law, that's why the Israelites was under Caesar, because they went into another land, and another land had different law, and they couldn't go against the law. Either go against the law or they get kicked out. So Jesus came to set them free from that law and give them another land. But for some reason, they denied him again. So when Jesus went into another land and had another people, like more like Nicodemus in them, and Nicodemus in them generation was Hebrew, so they followed Jesus. You know what I'm saying? They came under Jesus, and then the rest of them started. They said that they came from miles away from to hear him speak, from to and from. So just imagine how those people came under, and they said it was 5,000 plus some. So he already had 5,000 plus some people coming from all walks of life that was spread it out in the land that was Hebrew. It was Hebrew people, you know what I'm saying? People who got separated from their land, So just imagine how our family is, and our family got separated from our land, and then we trying to find, right now today, people is out here trying to find their lost family members. You know what I'm saying? They generation, So you got detectives, you got people who's going around like really, trying to find them. You know what I'm saying? Now, I tried to send out to find my uncle, because my grandfather he like died trying to find our uncle. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it would be like a good thing to not to give up that search. You know what I'm saying? To not to give up that search to look for our uncle. We don't know if he's in Iraq. We don't know if he's in China. We don't know if he's in Europe. We don't know, because when you're young, he lost his mother at a very young age. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even 16. He had to been like between 14 and 15 when he lost his mother. Then he had little sisters. You know what I'm saying? He had my mother, my auntie, and then my other auntie. So just imagine him as the oldest brother. He was the oldest brother. You know what I'm saying? And him, graduating and going through school and graduating and going to college and stuff like that, and then still had little sisters at home and stuff like that, So I think that it would be good to not to give up the search. This is what I was telling my kinfolks, my auntie and them. Like, wouldn't you want to find your brother? I don't know if she wants to continue, because right now to us, she's the last living relatives of my grandfather. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather's children, because we ain't seen our uncle yet. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know. So it would be good to continue to try to find him, because he would be the last of the Copeland's male. The Copeland male of my my granddad's son. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about his brother's children. I'm not talking about my granddad's brother's children. I'm talking about my granddad, But I do have uncles that is Copeland's. You know what I'm saying? I do have aunties. Well, they got married. They would be Copeland too if they divorced or whatever. But I think my aunt got married, and I forget her last name. So that's the only thing. I was trying to ask Aunt Ida about that. I'm about to ask Aunt Ida what his auntie's married name, because we could have looked her up, and she could have. But I had told them, I said, we got one in Tennessee. I know that we do, because every time I turned on the TV, and I kept listening to the ministry out there, and I said, hey, I think that's our auntie or her daughter, because our auntie right now should be, she should be like 90 something years old. The sister should be, because our granddad was 80 something when he died, so his sister and brother should be. I don't even think his sisters and brothers are still alive, because they would be 100 and something if they was alive. You know what I'm saying? So it got to be the sons, because the sons should be between their 60s and 70s. Their sons right now, because my aunt Ida, she was in her 70s. She's in her 70s. My Uncle Manny was 70, I think 72 or something like that, because we had celebrated one of his birthdays and stuff. So I think he was turning 72 at the time. And my auntie was turning, because she's younger than my uncle. I mean, yeah, she's younger than my Uncle Manny. So my Uncle Manny, they say he died, but Uncle Manny, I don't even think Uncle Manny turned 80 years old before he died. They say he died, and, so, and Ida should be in her, close to her 80s now, because, let's see, Uncle Manny was 75, so she should be like 80. No, she should be 80. She should be around my 80 or 81. She just had a birthday, so, yeah, because my mother just had a birthday in June. So my mother would be, she been dead for 20, I'm 48. She been dead. My mom been dead for 26 years. So, 26 years. And she was 62. And my aunt would have been 62, let me see. 63, my mom. And then my aunt is right behind her. So my aunt would have been 61, 59 at the time. So you figure, around about 80. Yeah. So, yeah. So Aunt Ida should be a Goldman. Okay, not Godwin, Goldman. Goldman. That's her last name, Goldman. Manny Goldman is his name, my uncle's name. And Uncle Manny got brothers, but I never met him. I never met Aunt Ida's husband's family. I never met them. So they could be walking around me all day long. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know them at all. That's why I said the in-laws, they could be walking around me, and I wouldn't know them because I don't know them. I never met them. So, but and Ida told me, she said, my kids got to know my husband's side of the family, then my side of the family, then y'all. So they really didn't come around us when we was little, but we came around them when they was little, getting to know family. So my mother made sure we knew both sides, my dad's people and my mom's people. So my mother made sure. So that's why I call my mother a true trooper. You know what I'm saying? She's a true soldier. My mother was a true soldier because she made sure family counted for her anyway. She lost her mother at a young age. I think she was like 13 when she lost her mother. So that's something sad to go through, a little girl that don't have their mother. So I thought about my mother all the time, and I said, I'm going to make sure every love count for my daughter. And I tell my daughter that, because, you lose your mom. Yeah, when I lost my mama at the age of 22, that was devastating, you know what I'm saying? Because now I say, my mom won't see me grow into a woman. You know what I'm saying? Doing woman things and doing, responsible things. I moved on my own. I was trying to, get in order to where that, because she knew where I left to have my career. So she knew why I left. I left at the age of 19, turned 20 down here in New Jersey. In Michigan. I keep saying New Jersey. I turned 20 down in Michigan. And that's when I was in the group, my entertainment group. So we did shows and stuff. So yeah, I was in front of a whole lot of people, you know. So I got a chance to make it, and I'm only 48 right now, so I got a chance to make it before I turned 30, and before I ended up in a wheelchair. So I ended up in the wheelchair at my career, me as a CNA and hospice worker. I worked as a hospice person and stuff like that. But prior to that, I was still doing performances in between. So yeah, but now I'm writing. I'm writing now, and it's just going ongoing thing. It's an ongoing thing with the entertainment. So a lot of people I guess some of them say, oh, I'm this and I'm that and I'm this and I'm that and stuff like that. But like I said, I'm whatever God has me to be, I'm gonna be, regardless of people's attitudes or people feel as though they worked hard and they ain't make it into entertainment or whatever. But it's a lot of people that's been behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying, that it never bothered them being behind the scenes, just like me. It don't bother me being behind the scenes, but I'm not going to be behind the scenes for people that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be behind the scenes for people that I trust and I want to help. You know what I'm saying? You got people out here that's trying to just yank you. You know what I'm saying? So no, especially if I'm not signing up for you to be behind the scenes. I could do the work. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not about to be behind the scenes with people I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's a spooky situation. Like, who am I behind the scenes with? I don't know. My skin be peeling. That's when you know it's dry. And I peel like a banana. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. So yeah, so I don't mind being behind the scenes and stuff sometimes, but when you got people who is you don't know who you behind the scenes for, like whatever person that's trying to do singing, whatever person that's trying to do acting, whatever person that's trying to produce, you don't know who that person is. You be like, okay, why are you using my tapes or my videotapes and my things to make you shine? You know what I'm saying? I don't even know you. Or you know what I'm saying? I don't even think that you have it. So now you're going to force me to make you have it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell people, when you support stuff like this, it doesn't do you any good. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't do you any good. No type of good whatsoever. But people will stick with it. People stick with it, I just tell my daughter not to do it, no matter what, And I tried to tell her, I said, we made it by just being good and honest, you know what I'm saying, and helping people. That's how we made it. That's how we made it through. You know what I'm saying? We didn't make it through by, causing trouble and stuff like that. We didn't make it through like that. So I told my daughter, I said, she'll say, we can't just live by the Bible and stuff. But I'm trying to tell her, so far since Mama gave my life to the Lord years ago when she was a little girl, I remember her father coming over, and he wanted, he couldn't wait. He couldn't wait. Men can't wait. When the doctor tell you can't have sex more than like 8 to 6 weeks, and her father came over because I was over my sister's house. My sister helped me when she came home from the hospital. When we came home from the hospital, my sister Tina took me over to her house to help me with the baby because I had a C-section. And with this C-section, I couldn't really walk that good because I don't know if they cut too far on my towards my leg muscle or not, like my left side. And I said, I don't know if they did that or not, but I was calling in and I was like, hey, I'm having trouble with my leg, And I said, I'm having trouble with my leg. So they said, oh, it'll get give it a couple of times, once they heal, you'll be all right and stuff. I mean, my brother was even concerned. My brother said, hey, what's wrong with your leg? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I don't know, So, I was working, my leg was okay, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they cut into my how you say, my muscle, my leg muscle or not. I don't know. So I ain't know what was going on, but all I know is we was praying. Me and Tina, we was praying. So I ended up healing. But I still was having a problem with my leg. So I don't know if they damaged the muscle in my leg or not. But my leg, this left leg, has been weak. But I ended up having a knee on the job, Seton Hall. I had an injury on the job with my knee, and my knee was swell up so bad, and the pediatrician, I mean not the pediatrician, the what you call it, the therapist said it'll go down, it'll go down. I guess the shock of it hitting landing right on my knee, and I said, man, so they didn't have to, they took x-rays and everything. They didn't have to do no surgery or anything. That was years and years checking. Each year I get an x-ray for my knee. So they do a bone density test because I had hit my on the job. I had hit the front of my head, and the door swung open, and it cracked me right. I mean, I seen stars. So they've been taking. That's why they have to take like MRIs, and I have like pain in my, So my doctor said I was having mind brains, So I suffered from mind brains for many of years and stuff, and then seizures. I was having seizures, because I, fell, in the back of my head, So it's like everything is job related. I'm like, oh God, working is killing me. Working is killing me, but I like working. I like working. I like doing. I can't sit down for nothing. What I'm saying? I gotta find something to do. What I'm saying? So now I write and I write little stories for little children books, and then I write little songs and stuff for nursery rhyme songs, and I just, if they can use it, if any type of daycare can use it, they can put it together, and they can use it for their nursery, the nursery catalog for children, make a CD for children. So I wrote a lot of songs, which I wanted at the time my daughter to sing, because she was only like, she was 13 at the time, and I had wrote like 6 nursery songs. And I was trying to get my daughter to record it for the kids, so that the kids can, sing along with the nursery songs. But she, for some reason, I don't know what happened. It's just, oh my God, it's mind bothering. So but yeah. Okay. So my thing is, I just don't know that, I'm gonna go in here and get me some breakfast. My daughter didn't bring the baby, so I'm going to. Oh, it's 23 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, all right. It'll be filming. I guess all of this gonna go in the archives, whatever they call it. Okay, y'all. See y'all later.